Hello and welcome to the Out Loud podcast. My name is John.
And I'm Brian.
This is the podcast where we go into business. Serious, straight to brass tacks. Penis.
Penis, brass tacks. Brass tacks and penises now.
All right, let's roll that intro music.
Open up your mind. Tell me where you want to be. Tell me what you need from me.
Well, here we are, and John is actually here in Providence for the weekend. It was very exciting. It's always great when we can spend a little quality time
Exactly,
together.
and that will be coming to an end in May because I'm graduating and really looking forward to that.
Like 7 weeks.
Moving back in.
Not that I'm counting.
We can do more podcasts, we can do more loving, we can do more snuggling, we can do more fun.
Yeah, just more everything.
Everything.
Our lives get started together.
Oh, cannot wait. So on that kind of note, we want to start out this episode with reviewing our tops and our bottoms of the week. And really, what's the bad part there?
Yeah.
What's the bad?
It depends on how you look at that.
So I guess, why don't you start with your top?
I'm going to do my weight loss journey that I'm on. And I say it's like this great eating adventure type thing. I've been doing Noom since we got back from Mexico, where I felt I was at my highest weight I've ever been at as
What do
a
you
human.
think? Are you comfortable sharing that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I would say like 213, maybe. You think?
I think a little more. I do.
All right.
I do. But
And I'm only 4'3", so it's like that makes it a little like if I was 6'7", you say, oh, that's great, but no. So all right, so I'll say 215.
in the spirit of transparency.
215.
Yeah, I like
so
that. Yeah.
I'm down about 20 to 25 pounds.
That's awesome. And so
But it's
that
like
was
I don't see it.
in 3 months?
Since January 9th, I started this great program, which I love, not promoting it, not getting paid for it, Noom.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys have seen ads for it.
All the time,
The thing
yeah.
I love about it is it's just, I love being able to track my meals, being able to scan a label and, red, green, and yellow foods. They have great recipes. There's a whole behavioral thing, component to it. I listen to these lectures while I drive, and I say lectures, they're like these 2-minute little things about mindful eating and what to eat and when to eat and the, mind distortion and things like that. And it might be stuff that I kind of already know. It's nice being reinforced, but I weigh myself every day, every single morning, and I get excited to do it. If the scale's up 2 pounds, I'm like, well, I couldn't have gained 2 pounds in a day because I'm eating right. So it's all water and just different things, but I'm feeling better, and by the time we go to Spain in June, I'll probably be at my goal weight.
I know that with this app, you track your calories pretty much every day.
Yeah, you track everything. It tracks your steps for you, which is nice.
Nice.
But then you can also, because I go to the gym, usually just 6 days a week, I can put in my workouts, and it might give you 1,500 or 1,600 calories a day. But then if you exercise, sometimes I could be eating like 2,000 calories, which is a lot of food. And I don't usually use all my calories.
Yeah, you usually are under that. And by the way, this is not like a sponsored thing or anything.
No.
It's not
I'm
like
just
a promotion.
telling you what I like, and
And it's working. I mean, you tried the intermittent fasting in the past.
When I say I was rigid with that fasting, like I would stop eating at 6 o'clock at night and would not start again till like 8 o'clock that next morning.
Yeah.
I stayed at the same exact weight.
He was.
Or I actually gained a pound.
He was very rigid with it, yeah.
Like, seriously, I would be done. But, some things work for, you kind of get...
I love that it's a
what
behavioral
works.
approach, because I think for most people, we know what is healthy and what's not. And, we know that our portion sizes are probably ridiculous.
Yeah.
We know these things, but Noom kind of reinforces the behaviors.
But some of my cooking has gotten,
Oh, baby, I can attest to his cooking.
Yeah,
he's got some awesome recipes
There's some
nowadays.
great cauliflower rice. There's great sticky chicken. And the thing is, you can really eat anything. It's like, Yeah, we had a drink last night. I'm not like
it's not like too restrictive, right?
Yeah,
It's moderation.
Everything's moderation. So it's working for me. I'm not hungry. That's the only thing, and I'm actually starting to like get the results.
I'm seeing the results. Oh, that cauliflower rice, by the way, like that's better than topping or bottoming. I mean, it's just
that really is.
Oh man.
It's a cauliflower fried rice by the Pioneer Woman. Look it up.
Oh gosh.
She is.
We'll link the recipe.
Yeah, she's awesome. Like
so good.
Oh my gosh, it's so good and it's so easy and so healthy.
So my top is that I had a fabulous job interview this weekend. Of course, I'm moving back to Providence, so I've been looking in the Providence area. I'm really excited to announce that I will probably be accepting this job. He offered me the job on the spot in the interview. Really excited.
What did he say?
Oh, hey, the job is yours if you want it.
Love that. Like, how many people can actually say that
That's really cool.
in job interviews? Like that people do that. It's usually like, no, they got to go through HR and this and this.
So the job is I will be working on a psychiatric unit. I'd be the consulting service. I'll see patients, that are admitted to the hospital who have a psychiatric complaint, or in the emergency department who have a psych complaint. And then the unique part about this is that when we admit them to our psych service, we are also managing them medically, which is very important for me as a new graduate. I don't want to specialize into, it's just psych or just ortho or just one thing. Right. I want to remain broad, continue to build my clinical skills, and I'm just really excited about it. He just seemed like an awesome doc to work with, very compassionate. I saw him, walking around and, saying hi to nurses and stuff. And it's really important for me that I work with someone, especially the first job, that is going to be able to teach me and just grow my skills as a clinician. So,
well, it was funny because he's like, the interview's 2 hours. It was like 3:00, and I hear the door like at 4:20, like the lock on the door, and I'm like, I've interviewed people, and if it's not going well, I'm like,
bye.
I'm not wasting my time. I'm not gonna waste their time. You wrap it up. It's like, I got a hard out in 8 minutes.
Bye, girl.
Like, sorry, this came up unexpectedly. Or like, and when I'm on the other end of it, it's like if the interview's cut short, you're like, maybe it didn't go as well as I thought. But I really didn't. I have all my faith in him that anyone would be lucky to get him.
Yay.
So.
Well, I think that's a segue into the bottoms then, huh?
The bottoms. And it's not like, and we say like bottoms, it's just like not the bad things.
Bottoms
it's the challenging things.
Of the week.
Of life.
And Brian certainly had a challenging one.
So we had that horrible storm. I don't know why my Boston accent has been coming out lately.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm losing weight.
Trim around.
So we had this really crappy storm, and it was that temperature where it's like, is it going to be rain? Is it going to be snow? Is it going to be ice? Is it going to be everything in between? So snowed, then rain, then got really cold. So everything had this much of a layer of ice, like a 2-inch layer of ice. So we live in an old, beautiful Victorian home that has a slate roof. So it's always like the snow just doesn't stick to it, or it does stick to it and then it'll come off in an avalanche. But my car's parked in the middle of the driveway, not close to the house, like 20 feet from the house, 15 feet, would you say?
Something like that, yeah.
I've been hearing snow come off the roof, and it's like you're in an avalanche. Boom! And it was probably right around dinner time. And I hear a whole bunch of snow come off, and I'm looking around, don't think anything of it. And later on in the evening, I'm looking out at my car, and I'm like, why is there snow on top of my car? And I was like, well, it's supposed to rain and snow tonight, so I'd rather get it off. I don't know how it got there, but I just want to. It was like an avalanche on my car. It crushed the roof of my car. Fortunately, it didn't break my sunroof, but it's like I had to go into the car and try to push up the roof.
Hulk smash. Yeah.
So I brought it insurance claim, whole 9 yards. And yes, I need a new roof. I thought they'd just be able to pop it out
That
But they're
stinks.
like,
And this is a new car.
newer
I mean,
car.
like,
It's like a year and a half
2020 RAV4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And I love the car. And it's like I do take a very good care of it. And since we haven't been driving much, it's like I'm just keeping the value high on it because I'm not driving it into the ground. And I'm like, well, it's a new roof. And
the crazy part too is the driveway is such that there are 3 cars like lined up, and Brian's is in the middle, and none of the other cars got affected, just yours.
No,
Attaboy.
there's like a car like right there because it's happened in the past. Todd, who lives upstairs, will park his pickup truck close to the house, and it came off and it shattered his windshield.
Well,
like we got to figure something out.
Thankfully,
obviously.
no one was hurt.
Yeah,
it
no
was
one's
like
it's a car, and that's why you have
car.
insurance. It's just an inconvenience. I'll get some sort of bad rent-a-car tomorrow when it goes in the shop for probably 2 weeks.
yeah.
Like if that's the worst, that
It could be
happen.
worse because
Right.
my bottom that I'm going to talk about
All right.
is about this whole "Don't Say Gay" bill, and we want to kind of dive into this topic. Obviously, it's near and dear to our hearts, being a couple of homosexuals. We want to just figure out what this is all about. I did some more research about it, and so we're going to dive right in.
Yeah, help us out because I need a little more education.
And it's actually called the Parental Rights in Education Bill. Of course, we're all calling it the "Don't Say Gay" bill because that's appropriately description of it.
In Florida, remember
Yeah.
Florida? Like we love Florida, but sometimes like I feel some of these bills that are being passed, I don't get it.
Going backwards? Are we going backwards? That's the question. So what it says is anyone in kindergarten through 3rd grade, it's a hard no to discuss any sort of gender or sexuality issues. And then throughout the rest of schooling, that it has to be age appropriate and developmentally appropriate, or else parents can sue the teachers for discussing gender sexuality issues.
I don't know. I kind of get, and I say I get the kindergarten through 3rd grade. Did I know that I was gay like in 3rd grade? And remember, since I'm coming from a different...
You just
No,
came
I'm
out
just
of your
saying-
mom. Hey, honey, woo!
I'm just saying, it's like, I don't think in my age generation that, like, you knew that what gay was.
Yeah.
Like, I think, like, I mean, I've had my nephew, like, all my nieces and nephews, obviously, know that I'm gay, and since they've been born, they know I'm gay, but I don't think, like, we don't say, like, your gay uncle. We just say
Uncle.
your uncle.
Yeah.
And, like, it's Uncle Todd, Uncle John, Uncle Brian, Uncle Dave. Like,
Yeah.
we're all together. Like, they don't see that. So I think, like, I don't know if a kid, maybe because it's more, and this is a horrible word to use because I hate using it, more normal, more normalized now, like the gay is more normalized, so it's not a big deal. So maybe they don't think of it like back when I was younger. It was. So it's like, am I just different? Like, am I different? Like, you didn't think gay. Like, I don't know. I didn't.
Well, I never got specific teaching of what is a transgender person in school or like what is a gay person in school. I don't understand what the teaching is. And in my mind, it's more of if a student comes up to a teacher, like say after class and has questions about sexuality or gender issues, that the teacher can legally is not allowed to talk about anything like that.
Right. And which is kind of sad because like we want to empower our teachers and they take care of our kids.
They're a huge like part of that the person's day of that child's day.
You know, and I don't know. I'm for the younger kids, like they just want to watch Paw Patrol. I mean, I feel like maybe it's not going to be a huge issue with kindergarten because, like, Pookie's kindergarten, and like I don't see him asking that. Like, I can say, stop playing with your thing. You know, like that's about as sexual as I'll get. Like, stop
Yeah, and
get
that's
your
the
hands
thing
out
is
of
like
your pants.
kids start like experimenting and just exploring their bodies and understanding gender very early. In fact, that kids ages 18 months to 24 months, that's when they start to develop this sense of, oh, that's masculine, that's feminine, that's a man, that's a woman. They know that. 18 to 24 months. And then by ages 3 to 5, and this is all studied, you guys, ages 3 to 5, they have this innate sense of their own gender. So when this bill argues, oh, it has to be age appropriate and developmentally appropriate of what we're talking to these kids, they start developing those senses very, very early. So how can you say you can't talk about these things when they're already thinking them?
Right.
Know?
And the thing is, they might have questions, and I don't know. Like you want the teacher to be empowered because they see them sometimes almost more than we do.
Right.
And take care of them and guide them, and you want them to be a figure that they can confide in. And
of course, you're not going to be talking to like a 3-year-old about gay sex or like condoms.
You wouldn't talk to a 3-year-old about straight sex.
Like this just doesn't make sense. So there's a disconnect there. And then the whole issue of when we talked about when does gender develop, but then when do you have this sense of your own sexuality? I feel like that's more of a moving target. I've read stories where like kids as young as like 5, 6 years old know that they're gay and they've like come out, which I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't until like after high school. I didn't start like
and
that whole
for
process.
those of you like in my age category, like Tarzan, Ron Eli, like the show, like I was like, I knew then, and I was like, there's something going on here because I really like.
How old were you roughly?
I don't
when
know
that happened?
I don't know if that
7,
was
8.
I was gonna say
Somewhere
8
around
or 9.
there. Okay, yeah.
When that show was on, maybe.
On average, girls go through puberty at age 11 and guys age 12. So hormones are flowing, and that roughly equivalates to grade 6.
Yeah.
So hormones are flowing. Kids start having questions, and I think that if teachers aren't there to answer those questions, particularly in a family that is not very accepting, where the teacher might be the only outlet for these kids to really get any information or guidance, wow. I mean, that's a huge gap. That's a huge hole.
Well, you see, like that's what from what I've read, and like that's the Trevor Project's mission, like is to help teens and kids.
Exactly. Oh, that's a good point, Bri. I actually have some stats on that because the Trevor Project had a 2021 report, and of course, Trevor Project is about suicidality and LGBTQ youth and really raising awareness there. In their 2021 report, they had said that LGBTQ plus youth are 4 times more likely to seriously consider or plan or attempt a suicide compared to non-LGBTQ peers. And the real thing about this Trevor Project report is that they cite LGBTQ plus youth who learn about other LGBT people were 23% less likely to report a suicide attempt. Yeah. So are we hurting kids? Are we hurting kids by not letting teachers be there for them?
Yeah. I mean,
I think there's also some, obviously we don't want to put all the responsibility on the teachers, and parents certainly need to do their part and all that.
But you have to understand how important teachers are. I've been out of high school, 4 years? Like, you're supposed to laugh.
I almost
at
did
that.
A spit take, sorry.
A long time. And I could probably go through, I can go through and tell you each one of my teachers because that's how important they were to me and influenced, what I did. And, gay or not in high school, I probably was, never, obviously never acted on it, but they are so important to kids.
I remember, not in high school, but actually in college when I went through my whole coming out journey, I had a professor who I knew was a lesbian, and I felt very comfortable talking to her about all this stuff. And at a time where I was so stressed out, like my parents kicked me out, they kind of disowned me, they called me the FA, you finished the rest word.
Not good.
She was there, she was my rock. And of course, that's college, and I don't know how, where does this bill stop? Is it gonna continue into college? Is it gonna bleed over into my line of work in medicine? Am I gonna not be able to talk about, gender stuff, sex stuff with my pediatric patients?
Yeah.
Is that where it's gonna go? I don't know, where does this
Well, that's
stop?
what I'm saying. Like, it's almost like how you started this. Are we going backwards sometimes? Like, I feel like, I've heard through the rumor mill that's like, oh, we're going to abolish that, the same-sex marriage. We're going to get rid of that. Like, and I'm like, what? Why? I still, and mind your own shit. Like, stay in your lane, as my mom would say, keep your side of the street clean.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. Why do people care who I'm with? I'm paying taxes. I'm probably paying more taxes than the person across the street because we did our taxes this weekend.
Yes, we did.
But you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't understand. We don't have an agenda. Like, my agenda is like, all right, what are we having for lunch? Or my agenda is, what's on my work schedule this week?
Like, let's just be happy. Let's
just all be together. And
so this whole bill, and when the time this podcast comes out or video comes out, it might have already been, this might be old news, but
hopefully.
It is one signature away. It's on, Ron DeSantis, it's on his desk. Like,
well,
just
he's
waiting.
going to sign it because he is not a LGBTQ plus supporter.
In a press conference, he came out and he's like, my goal is to educate kids on subjects, math, reading, science, all the things that are important. But I don't want the schools to be a playground for ideological disputes.
A playground for ideas. Heaven forbid, schools about ideas.
And not like, if someone is struggling with gender sexuality, they're not going to be able to focus on math, history, science, all that stuff. It's going to distract them.
Yep.
There's another quote I just really quickly wanted to read. This is from Eliana Garcia. She's in support of this bill, of course, and she says, gay is not a permanent thing. LGBT is not a permanent thing.
Well, I'll have to tell you, for all the time I've been alive, it's a thing.
Yes, it is, and there's no praying it away. There's no, I mean, if you, it's just, obviously this boils my blood. It's just
a lifestyle.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I love this
bro.
lifestyle.
Yeah, me too.
But, education.
Yeah. That's all we have on that, I think. Yeah. I mean, how do we end this, like, positively?
Well, we could end it positively because we saw this great show on the weekend.
Yes.
Friday night at PPAC.
It was called The Prom. It's, at the theater.
And I'm sure it was on Broadway, and then Meryl Streep, James Corden.
Yeah.
Keenan.
One of those, yeah.
Keenan was in it and loved it. And he hadn't seen it, but I had seen the movie. And
tell him what it's about.
And so it's about kind of this these narcissistic group of Broadway actors that are in failed shows, and they have to build up their PR and for a cause, but they're like, world hunger too big, this. So they found this girl in Indiana that wanted to take her girlfriend to the prom, and they were canceling prom. The PTA was canceling the prom because they didn't want that, and they didn't want that in their town. They didn't want that.
This is like a conservative Midwest town.
It's hilarity and very emotional, kind of coming together, and a great show. The cast was amazing. So if it comes to your town, I would go see it. Highly recommend it. Fun, great message, great story. So, and that alone, like, she's in school, so is she not supposed to talk about wanting to bring her girlfriend
to the prom? It highlights this very issue.
Yeah.
You can see, she did a great job, and it was funny throughout the whole thing, but you can see the emotions behind this character and having coming out and going through all that. And there was, the principal was very supportive of Emma, the main character there. And I don't know, if he wasn't there for her, who knows what would have happened.
Right.
It's let's move forward, not backward.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, you guys. I think that'll
That's
wrap
good.
it up for this episode. Thanks for watching. We just really
Thanks.
quickly want to say this is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff, and we also
is.
upload it to YouTube as well. So go and follow us on all that stuff. Subscribe, like, comment, and Brian.
Oh, if you want to email us, is that what you're asking?
That's what I'm asking.
So we do have an email, and we do have an Instagram. It's been hacked twice.
Well,
but we haven't put anything up on it.
Yeah, we haven't.
We
Been
gotta
good on the
do that.
Instagram
So
stuff.
if you want comments, questions, concerns, outloudjb@gmail.com. That's outloudjb@gmail.com. No, yes.
Yes, you got
outloudjb@gmail.com. The JB, John and Brian, get it?
And thank you to Nearly York for their intro and outro music. The song "Take You There." Go check them out on
love
Spotify.
them.
They we love them.
Yeah.
That'll do it. And we're gonna sign up from now. Don't forget, live your life
Out loud.
So tell me where you wanna go, girl, I wanna know. Maybe I could take you there.